friendly smart speaker can do anything from dictating your recipes, to checking your schedule, to unlocking your doors. On a less positive side, it's capable of eavesdropping on your conversations and your activities. Yikes! The way most smart speakers work is by listening in on your conversations and just patiently waiting for those keywords like, "Hey Siri," or "Hey Google," or "Alexa." And then
I'm not sure, but I found some information for what is better, Alexa or Echo. Do you want to hear it?
No, thank you, Alexa.
I'm flattered, but that's not me. I'm your Google Assistant.
Oops, I even get them mixed up. This means that the only way to ensure that your conversations are private and that your personal data is not being collected is to just get rid of the speaker. But for some people, that is not the case. They really enjoy using these personal assistants. If this is not an option for you, I'm going to give you some help to kind of minimize your risk. To better predict your every need, the smart speaker logs your voice commands in something called cloud storage. And cloud storage is not in a cloud. What cloud storage is a group of off-site computers that basically house information. Businesses use these all the time. It allows a business to run certain functions through the internet to not only save space, but it also saves lots and lots of money for the business. The good news is that if keeping your personal data in cloud storage makes you feel uncomfortable, there is a way that you can go in and delete it. Just takes a little bit of work. Today I want to talk to you about how 3 speakers, the Amazon Echo, the Google Home, and Apple HomePod, how they manage and collect your data. The Amazon Echo smart speaker is powered by the artificial intelligence agent Alexa. The speaker keeps a digital ear out for that "Hey Alexa" and then follows whatever commands come next. When it hears the words "Hey Alexa," it starts recording everything that comes after that. These are usually your spoken commands, and then it saves them in the cloud. You can't turn off the Echo's ability to record because it's a necessary part of how the speaker functions. If this really bothers you and you want to make it stop, you can do this manually. Just tap the microphone button on the top of the device and it will no longer listen for that "Hey Alexa" command. But you've got to remember to turn it back on before you can use it again. Unlike the Google and the Apple speakers, you can't just tell Alexa to turn off the microphone. You actually have to do this manually. It's a bit complicated, but you can review and delete those little tidbits that are in the cloud. You have to do that either through the Alexa app or go onto Amazon websites and follow the instructions. Next, we have the Google Home. Unlike the Echo, the Google Home will stop logging off voice commands if you change a couple of settings. Once again, to stop the speaker from logging in this content, you need to either go through the Google app or go into your Google account and visit the Activities Control website. Then toggle off the voice and activity switch. And much like the Amazon Echo, to delete those little tidbits in the cloud, you actually have to go through either the app or go to the Google website and delete them yourself. And last, but definitely not least, is my personal favorite, the Apple HomePod. And I'm a little biased because, as I've said before, I am truly an Apple person. Apple HomePod users really do not need to worry as much about privacy. Although Apple does record the Siri commands, any information, anything that you say that comes after that is actually encrypted. And that encrypted data gets sent back to Apple with an anonymous ID attached to it. After that, Apple analyzes the log and then deletes it, so you don't have to worry about doing that. Similar to Apple's other devices, the HomePod listens for the "Hey Siri" command and
Ask me things like, "Hey Siri, where's the nearest coffee umbrella today?" Or "Hey Siri,
and doesn't have any other trigger words. If you want to turn off the listening feature, then you've got to disable the Hey Siri functionality. Similar to other Apple devices, the HomePod listens for the Hey Siri command before it does anything. If you want to turn off the always listening feature, then you basically have to disable the Hey Siri functionality. You can simply say, Hey Siri, disable to have your assistant do the work for you. Privacy in smart speakers became a very big issue when all of a sudden an Amazon Echo recorded conversations unknowingly from a woman and actually emailed the conversation to her contacts. The poor woman had not knowingly told Amazon Echo to record the conversation, yet alone email them to her contacts. She knew nothing about this. Here are some tips to help you keep your private conversations private. Number 1, don't share your address book. When you first set up your smart speaker, you might be invited to share the address book from your mobile phone. You can then dictate messages and emails to your friends. But if you don't share your address book, the smart speaker cannot accidentally send private recordings to all of your contacts. Number 2, turn the volume up. When the smart speaker detects its wake-up word, it will usually tell you what it's going to do. For example, if you ask Alexa to play a certain song, it will answer you by saying, "Now playing." If you set the volume too low, you'll not hear the clues that tell you what the speaker is doing. So make sure that you keep the sound level at a place where you can actually hear these prompts. So turn it up. Make sure that you know what that smart speaker has actually heard. Number 3 is mute the speaker when not in use. Each speaker is slightly different, so you'll actually have to check your instructions to see how you're going to do this. Remember, you're going to have to unmute this speaker before you can use it again or give it any sort of commands. Number 4 is change your wake-up word. Most speakers will allow you to change the wake-up word. And it can be any name that you can dream up, but the purpose is so that it isn't said by mistake. While I was making this video, every time I said the HEYSIRI word, my home speaker would answer me, and I finally just disabled it for this particular webcast. Number 5 is choose your words carefully. Smart speakers are very similar to a surveillance device. They collect potentially sensitive personal data, whether you want them to do it or not. It may be that you want to be very careful what you say when you're near your speaker or another smart device if you don't want your secrets collected by third parties. Unfortunately, until these technology companies begin taking privacy and the collection of data very seriously, we're going to have a problem. There is a real risk that we may see many more of these incidences in the future. Remember, with the increased use of smart speakers, hackers are going to be targeting these more and more. And what you need to do is to protect yourself against hackers that want your private and very, very personal data. Remember, smart speakers are listening to you unless you take control and change these settings. So, be senior smart and see you in cyberspace.